Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
Lord Thunder and Jesus! It's all coming down today in fire and brimstone. Just fucking around. But what a day it's already been. And why don't we continue on and make it that much fucking worse, shall we? We've got myself, and I'm sure you don't care. We've got Dunk here. He's actually a really cool guy. Even though he's a little green dude in a swamp, you know.
Yeah. Thanks for the shout out.
It's true.
Listen. I can bear witness to this. Dunk was being nice to you in the green room. He was actually giving you good advice, and you smacked him around for it.
Didn't happen. No,
it totally happened.
I was being taken to task. I don't believe it.
Check out the bruises. Look at them.
So we've got Nick Suter from Never on Time in. How's it going?
Doing well. I'll admit it's a little embarrassing. I clicked the link thinking that this was to Merck's green room, but I am here. So
yeah. He was just trying to find a bathroom, right? He ended up on the show. And then we've got Renegade Chungus in, because if anybody knows how to have a little shits and giggle time with a little alcohol, he's proven himself worthy around here.
Well, I got to give Pete Hegseth a run for his money. You know, I just want to let you know we're still 100% OPSEC.
Speaking of which, I was saying earlier on the UA show that what's his name? Rub Me the Wrong Way, EO. You know, that guy who seems to do this a lot. He looks like the long lost cousin of that nerdy guy with the glasses on NBC that just takes Trump to task all the time. What's his name? But I kind of think they might be related and separated at birth. And Rub Me the Wrong Way, EO ended up raised by that uncle that, you know, usually ends up going to jail by the time the kid's 12.
Mexican girl is asking if it's Rubio.
Yeah, Rub Me the Wrong Way, EO. But what the NBC guy, the MSNBC guy, he's that cool dark glasses younger guy. What's his name?
I haven't watched NBC in a long time.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know them as a TV channel, just as a YouTube channel, right? Because of Rachel Maddow, I get their other content. I love that girl.
Yeah,
man.
you're watching Rachel Maddow. Okay,
Yeah,
you know where
yeah.
your priorities are. You become a lot more interested in the news when it's some hot woman sitting there reading and talking.
She's got such attitude in the delivery. I love when she's so exasperated. She just has to pause for a second so she doesn't start swearing or something. I love that.
Also, she is a lesbian. It's been a challenge.
She's married. She's married to another. I don't think that would trouble Dick in the slightest.
Actually makes it easier, right? Because there's a limit to where it can go.
Exactly. Just like, it's a shame now because it's like now we actually have to have a relationship based on respect.
Yeah. Oh God, we have okay. We're truly plumbing.
How long is it taking
tonight? Yeah.
Oh,
Chungus, what do you think?
I think I'm still recovering from last night's pub chat. I am freaking
dude. I woke up feeling that. I was like, 4 hours till the UA show. Oh, this is gonna be rough.
Yeah, I was playing Magic the Gathering on stream last night, and I couldn't see straight. I'm like, I'm supposed to be reading these cards off the chat. I think I'm just gonna go to bed. It was rough. It was really rough.
We're the best influence somebody could ever need. It's true. I just asked Dunk. He literally lives on like Vancouver, British Columbia time, except he's in the UK. So
yeah. I go to bed at the same time Dick goes to bed, and I wake up at the same time Dick wakes up, just in a different, completely different country.
Yeah. You're lucky I'm a wuss and I go to bed early. But the whole thing with streaming and then partnering up with people can really mess your thing up. Like for me, being a West Coaster, and a lot of the people that we stream with very much being East Coasters and Europeans and stuff, it would be beneficial to me if I went to bed at like 8 p.m. and woke up at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or something,
My show would benefit if I never slept, and on occasion, it's ended up that way. So I will say this. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't trade doing YouTube for anything. I really wouldn't. But it is a shit ton more work than people think it is. People think it's just like, okay, you turn on, and by the way, it's that way with most things. When I was a high school teacher, my first year, I said to myself, okay, 80% of my time is going to be spent in the classroom. No, 10% of my time was spent in the classroom. The rest was spent grading, talking with the department heads, talking with other teachers, making curriculum, doing all that other stuff, or supervising some parent-teacher thing. 10% of my time was actually teaching. And when it comes to YouTube, about 20% of your time, if you're lucky, is doing YouTube and like being on stream. The rest of the time is fixing your technical issues, getting guests, getting people on board, figuring out what you're going to talk about, figuring out what's going on, all that shit.
Managing social media, making sure that the posts are drawing in the right people that will watch, and oh my God. And
getting into fights with YouTube over why they demonetized you.
Oh yeah.
Hardest job in the world. Hardest job in the world.
Yeah.
Literally every second of my life outside of everything else I do, whatever free second I have, I'm gathering material, whether it be sitting on the toilet or ordering DoorDash.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way it is.
When we started doing our 42 show, that rapid fire news thing we like to do now, we had to bring in PJCnet and MexiGirl and Net drops in articles, and we had to bring in a full-on news team just so we could keep up. And somebody might say, well, can't you find your own news, you lazy ass fucking stoner or whatever? Well, I mean, I do come Yeah, I mean, I do come across that way sometime. I'm sitting here drinking this. I'm about to roll one. I see what you're saying, but I'm a homeschooling dad. I'm a very hands-on parent with a child on the autism spectrum, and then I've got to take the articles that are given to me, reiterate it and redo it so that I can deliver it as myself and not misconstrue the actual meanings and points and stuff. And then I got to pass it on to AI Alchemist so he can do up some images and stuff. And then there's all the building and running of the show. And we don't do ours as a video. So we can't just deliver our lines and edit in the gags and the pictures after. I'm triggering all that shit live, man. You know.
Well, and that's the other thing, right? Which is somebody the best analogy I've seen is that a well-run YouTube channel is like a ship, and the host is the captain of the ship, and they're not the captain of the ship even necessarily because they're the most qualified. They're not the captain of the ship because they're the smartest. They're
no, because they have the loudest fucking mouth. Yeah,
yeah, because they can. It's the same reason the singer is the front. I mean, it's like it doesn't matter what else the singer can't do.
Nick, David Lee Roth is your analogy right now, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm the captain of the show, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes working their asses off that make the show work. When I say my thank yous, and I say thank you to the people, it's like, no, seriously, thank you, because if it wasn't for them, and I'm the one who gets the credit. That's just and that's the nature of it.
How sad is that, right?
Yeah, poor people who are doing it. Well, to tell you the truth, there's been a number of people who have said, and I haven't figured out why this happens so much on our show, but it has happened more than once where people have said, I will work for you only if you tell absolutely no one that I'm associated with your show in any way whatsoever. And that happens more than I think it should. So I'm trying to figure, is that a me problem? I don't know what that is, but we do get that.
Well, you should come on our shows more often because nobody bloody watches them, so you'd be safe.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we're fighting YouTube on this channel to get to that 500 sub mark to get monetized for super chats and memberships. We don't care about ads because this is our channel where we swear and drink and stuff. We don't fucking care, right? But super chats and memberships, that would be pretty cool. So do us a favor. Just below the video, there's a share button, and give us a share. Click that button and share us out on your social media and just tell people this is what I'm doing right now. Yes, it's a negative reflection on your life, but it's a positive thing for us.
And it is, and I'm gonna chime in, and Dick knows I do this, and this is just a personal thing with me, which is I think artists, and I am an artist. I'm a writer. I've done a lot of very artistic things, and YouTube is artistic. There's acting, there's presentation involved. Artists hate selling their own stuff. They hate shilling. They hate it more than any. So, like, when I go on other people's channels, I always try to sit there and say, yeah, do it. When he says it, do it. He wouldn't be saying it if it doesn't actually help. It really helps. It helps more than most people realize. You have to, have a channel to realize how much it helps. Because everybody, too, says, when I started In Time, I was like, I will never stay, like, and subscribe.
Dude, I was so against it. Yeah. I was, yeah. And I've sucked it up, but it's taken literally 4 years for me as a Canadian. You don't do this, right? We don't go, hey, well, actually some of us do, but they live in Alberta. No, I'm just kidding. I had to wreck that, right? I had to wreck that, but you know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
I think if people knew how much effort that it goes behind the scenes, how much time invested, how much personal stuff's invested as well. And for me, what I'm doing it for is I started my channel to do fundraising because someone asked me for help. And I'm like, well, shit, maybe I should make a YouTube channel and put some of my funny videos on there. Yeah. And then just kept going and going and going. I'm like, well, shit, maybe I should get paid to do this so I don't have to go to work and, lose my mind from working 10 hours and then coming and gathering information and putting it all together. So it would be nice to make a transition. I'm not gonna lie, I'm straight up, yeah,
dude, totally right. You know,
Oh,
yeah.
It's so much better. It is so much better losing your mind being on YouTube than it is losing your mind doing any other job.
Yeah.
There's no other. Yeah.
I don't know.
got-
My OnlyFans page is a bit weird though, Nick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do you have to tell me? Is this one of those things we can just segue out of this story?
Buzzing your little anus little thing going, tell news.
Hey, well, listen, I had an OnlyFans page. It made a shit ton of money, but basically the way it works is I start out naked and I'm just like, okay, with $500 donation, I'll put on a piece of clothing. And it's like I could make $5,000 in the night if I was careful, especially with the socks.
Dude,
and
I will commit to a life of crime to keep you dressed if that's what it takes.
You see, it was a great business model. I finally got my OnlyFans got taken down for crimes against humanity, which was just I did not realize in the term that's not even in the terms of service. So
nobody wanted to see Paddington Bear do that to Miss Piggy, right?
Well, that's why you make an only toes. That's you stay anonymous that way. You know, you can have like a specialty, like what's the surprise this weekend? It's going to be pineapple instead of banana. And are we going petroleum-based lotion or water-based? You know, you can kind of switch it up.
Now you see, these are the things. I'm not an expert, so you see, if I had known these things, I probably could have been so much more successful.
Hey,
talking about crimes against humanity. Tonight, it's only just finished a few moments ago, was the Eurovision Song Contest. Hooray! With all a bunch of freaks from all over Europe, you know, trying to, I mean, you all got blank faces. You have no fucking clue what I'm talking about.
Europe, isn't that the 53rd state?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was kind of interesting. The best way to watch it, as I was watching it, was the volume turned completely down, so you can't hear anything. And Israel nearly won. Their song, some blithering woman just.
I think they did a cover of "Bombs Away" by Lagwagon.
No, her song's all about love and peace. Yeah, right.
Nick is
so fucking gullible today. I believed everything you just said.
They nearly won. They got pipped at the post at the last minute by Austria. Austria came in and won. It was their song, "The Fuhrer Was Born in Our Country" or something. I don't know. But
who's the first to goose step? Boom, boom.
I just thought it kind of interesting that Israel was there, singing their song, nearly won. No Palestinian contingent though. No one from Palestine. Oh, what a shocker!
Oh my God.
I was going to go somewhere, and I was just like, no, you know what? I want this channel to stay up. So I'm not gonna go where I was going to go with that.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's funny. Anybody else see Jerry Seinfeld standing up to slap somebody who didn't deserve the award?
I'm just going to say, Dick, if you ever get pissed at me in the future, just realize Dunk just handed me the ability to have your channel and everything associated with you completely banned off the internet forever.
Dude, he does that every time we do a drunken chat.
Come on, do it.
Yeah.
Well, you see, there was a Palestinian entry and a Palestinian delegation, but never mind. I'm not going to discuss.
No, you started now. You started.
No, I know. No,
dude, you should have been here last week. He was singing slave songs from the perspective of the owners. It was really weird.
Come on, Nick. You started. It's just like Austria. You started, so you got to finish. Took them 5 years to get beaten by the Americans, but there you go.
No. This is going to be a Hitchcockian. I'll let everybody. I'll let the imagination work and hope it's actually worse than the reality. let's just say, believe me, the joke would not have been at the expense of the Palestinians. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
Hamas on the stage.
Yeah, how did I know that?
I'm just looking
Yeah.
at the results, and I feel like the most controversial one should be, why did Estonia get third place with a song called Espresso Macchiato?
I want to know how much Andrew Mercado sponsored that song to get his name as the second half of the title. Right?
Oh, well, and listen, I've got so many problems with Andrew Mercado. Is he here, by the way?
No, not right now.
No?
You're free to
Okay.
say whatever
I have
you
so
want.
many.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What a! Is he going to see this? I mean, nobody's going to see the link, right?
No, we're not live right now, Nick. You can say whatever you want. Yeah.
Wow, Mercado! Oh my God! Oh, I'm gaming. I have 100 million subs just by gaming, and because I go into dangerous situations and record them. Wow.
Yeah, how dare he inspire me to be a better human being and help people.
I know.
The words.
And then all that, and then that. Oh, that's not what I do. That humility, It's like, oh, okay. You know what? Yeah, we get it. We get it. We've seen it before.
Andrew has been in like really dangerous situations. I've seen him play Call of Duty.
Yeah. He once had a fight with an old lady in line for the DMV. She even had a walker, so she had a weapon.
Oh, I doubt it. He's the kind of guy who probably would be like, oh, lady, why don't you go first?
No,
And
he
then,
kicked the shit out of her, but she was coming on to him,
Yeah, I believe that too.
Are you saying he's into gilf? He's into
grandmas. Yeah, no, I don't know. I didn't have that. I didn't have when we had him on in time and we had our interview. We didn't get into that all important. So, like, what's the age limit for you? Or do you find wrinkles sexy? Do you? Let me just ask. Do you find men with gray hairs sexy? Asking for a friend.
You silver fox, you.
Yeah.
And while we're at it, we'd like to thank the Enforcer for sending us tonight's script of all their unused material on Android. The Sausage King of Chicago.
Yeah. Here, shouldn't we give him the full-on award ceremony? Suck my golden
I really
trophy,
did. I
bitch.
thought I was joining Merck's stream. That's why I'm bitter right now. And here I am. And this is just, ladies and gentlemen, the reason my career could get no lower. So Dick was just like, "You want to come on?" I was just like, "Yeah, I've already hit rock bottom."
I don't know. There's some channels I could send you to if you want to get even more bottom.
My whole life has been based around a challenge when I was like 14 years old, and somebody called me childish, and I was pretty sure that it was a challenge, but looking back, I'm not so sure. It's one of those things, right? I'll wear it. That's all right.
Hey, listen, your channels are doing great. You're going through this, like, this respectability thing is highly overrated. Trust me.
Oh yeah. It must be funny for somebody that watches our channels now and then who gets like muted because they're in the live chat talking shit, and they must say to themselves, "But did you hear what that fucking guy said?" Like, you're not me, dude. It's just how it works.
There was a huge lag spike. Is that just me or?
No, I felt that too. Yeah. We just went through one of those moments. Yeah, for sure. Are we good?
I think so.
All right. Well, probably not, but it's working.
I mean, relatively speaking, right? I mean, yeah.
Good as will ever be.
Yeah.
So let's play a game. Who do you hate and why do you hate them?
You're gonna dislike my answer. I'm gonna have to think about mine.
I was going to pick a few different YouTubers, but I probably shouldn't do that. So,
oh, that came to mind. Okay, yeah, I get what I smell what you're stepping in. No, I don't, and I don't mean this. I right now, I mean, there are probably a few times when I've said, "Wow, I hate this person." Right now, I am going over all of the people that I have heard of, known throughout history, seen in the news, or who have had a personal impact that's been quite negative in my life, and I don't hate any of them. And that's a straight up legit thing, and that's not like a Zen thing. That's not. It's just what I learned a very, very long time ago. Hating people sucks. It makes you do shit that you don't like, and you're going to sit there afterwards and say, "Why'd I do that?" And you're going to say, "Well, because I hate this person, and they deserve it. They may or may not deserve it, but holy shit." Does Trump deserve the White House? I am not the arbiter of who deserves what. There is no God that is arbiter of it that I can tell. So all I can do is try to make my life as simple and easy as possible. And the only way I've found to do that is to not hate people.
All right. See, my answer was
Wuss.
yeah. It was far less eloquent because I really had a target.
Well, and if it was who I think it was, I do definitely understand. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you.
Chungus, let's go to you right now. Anybody want to sound off on, or are you going to take the high road and ensure your passage to the afterlife?
What? How much time do you have? Let me bring the list up.
Give us your top 5 and why they deserve to be stepped on like bugs.
Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Jackson Hinkle, Jack Posobiec. Let's see who else. Dmitry Medvedev. Those right there.
I hadn't thought of Tim Pool. When I said I was thinking of all the people, Tim Pool did escape my Tim Pool. Wow.
So I think it was Benny Johnson's chat I actually got I snuck into and gave him a $2 super chat to get his moderator to announce it after they announced they got in trouble through Tenant Media. And the guy read it off on his live stream. And Mercado was playing the guy's live stream too to comment on it. I snuck in there and I got in and he's like, "This one's from Renegade Chungus. $2 donation. Here is your rubles for prison condoms. Love, NAFO." And he read it out.
Oh.
So I got one on him. I got one on him there and snuck it in. But yeah, I can't stand him.
Well done. I want a clip of that.
Yeah. Hold on a second here. You get the chat dance for that one. Oh, yeah. Well done, son.
The fact that those sons of bitches can make hundreds of thousands of dollars to spread Russian propaganda and then just go, "Well, I didn't know where the money came from." And everybody's just like, "They don't know where the money came from. Huh? Don't you see what's going on here? It's the liberals." It's just unreal to me.
The sad thing is, I liked him more when I believed he knew where the money came from, because then I'm like, "Oh, you're not really that horrible a human being. You're just being paid. You're just a whore." I was like, no, it turns out he's actually a horrible human being and a whore.
Yeah, the best thing about it was the day after the DOJ indictments came, he changed his Twitter profile and put up a Ukrainian flag and said, "Slava Ukraini."
Oh dear Lord! I will admit, yes, I do not like him very much. I don't hate him, but wow, it's close. He's yeah.
You're touching, dude. Holding back on that one, you're touching cloth, man.
It pisses me off too because I'm a beanie guy in the winter, and every time I throw my fucking beanie on, I think of his ass, and I'm like, "Son of a bitch stole my beanie profile." Now I can't wear a beanie on live stream because I don't want to be freaking confused with that asshole.
Yeah.
This is when I said, okay, I think somebody slipped mescaline into my coffee. It was when I got up in the morning and I'm drinking my coffee and I read from the Associated Press. Associated Press kicked out of White House press corps Tim Pool to take their place. And I'm just like, okay, this is not reality. There is no number of multiverses in which this is even a theoretical possibility.
That's like putting Andrew Dice Clay in charge of the DEI initiative, you know?
Yes. No, it's like putting him in charge of nuclear weapon maintenance or something. I mean, it's
got rid of the Department of Education.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my fucking.
Oh. So, Dunk, have you got to sound off on anybody yet?
Who I hate?
Yeah, there's got to be one, right? Come on.
I love everybody.
Oh,
that's so not true. I know what an ornery old prick you are. It's just...
I mean, quite frankly, there's the obvious. Mr. fucking obvious in the White House, absolutely. And anybody who sits next to him and gurns to him and anyone associated with that. Marjorie Taylor Greene's like started her career with like like $77,000 in her bank account. She's now got like 220 million. Since she's been messing around in the White House. Now you don't come by that, just by buying lottery tickets. There's some serious shit going on behind the scenes there, and they're all. I mean, that we always mention it, that bit from Back to the Future. Oh yeah, who's president of the United States? Ronald Reagan. Yeah. And it's like the entire fucking White House.
Yeah. It's Fox News, the White House edition,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm in an episode of Sliders where I have
one of the few good ones.
I don't know about a good one, but I feel like I've just entered in this alternative universe where she's just fucking mad.
Different dimension.
Different dimension. Yeah, and like I'm crossing the streams of shows now, and I'm trying to find my way home.
Imagine you're going back like 20 years, and you're sitting there, and we're talking, and we're all just like, oh my God, can you believe Michelle Bachmann going on about the end of times and investigating Congress and all this other stuff? And then you think Michelle Bachmann's bad. She's saying you're going to vote for Michelle Bachmann to get her back in Congress. And you're like, no way, man. No way. Nothing's going to. It's just like, Michelle Bachmann. I want Michelle Bachmann back. The Republicans have this way of every time, like George W. Bush. The first George Bush, I was just like, oh my God, it's like, it can't get any worse than this. Then his son goes in. I was just like, okay, you know what? You've proven me wrong. At least we now know what rock bottom is.
It can't be.
I will vote for him.
It can't get any worse than this. Oh fuck! It's a family affair. God damn it!
I feel like I could be on a dinner date with Adolf Hitler, and in the corner of the restaurant, there's a TV on just announcing the news of what Trump's done, and Hitler's like spitting his food out and coughing. What the fuck?
That's not pure fascism. What is he doing?
Well, look how much we've changed the society in America. Like freaking when George Walker Bush was president, he made a slip up that says strategery and everybody lost their goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Now Trump goes to the Oval Office, shits himself in front of another world leader, and no one even bats an eye.
I know.
It's totally fine.
Invents words.
Oh man.
He just had to evacuate real quick. It's good.
Hey, he's doing the weave just in his trousers.
The weave. Oh my God. We had a thing on the 42 show recently. Let me bring this picture up. Just this couple from the States decided they would buy the Melania First Lady edition of the Trump watch. So first, here's the picture. Why does it have his sprawling signature on the bottom when it's the Melania First Lady edition? But second, do you notice anything about the word Trump at the top?
I covered this
More
on my live
accurate.
stream the other day. I did. Oh, he made his wife cry.
Yeah.
By the way, that's not Trump's signature on the bottom of the watch. That's just a graph of the tariffs.
You know what? You know what it was actually.
It's an auto pen on the bottom.
This
Yeah.
actually passed their inspection, but the Chinese kid that read it just put it on there the way they pronunciate his name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he only had 2 hours to get to his other sex farm job. So
Yeah, but at least it's so perfectly centered as well.
I know. Yeah, it's. Does everybody hear Scooby Doo? I got the rump watch.
The only problem is that watch also tells the wrong time. It tells it in 1940.
Yeah. Look at it. Look at how cheap that is. That's a $600 watch. You could buy that in any pawn shop for about $23.
Does it take backwards?
Watch. 640 is what the guy paid.
Yeah.
And he wanted to
Oh
impress
my
his wife.
God.
Well, I wanted to support the president with him and his goddamn turkey neck. I
Yeah.
wanted the president, and I wanted to make my wife happy, and I'm just so upset.
Oh, it's so funny, man.
I think maybe the president doesn't give a shit about you or your wife or any of the. Just asking for a friend and asking if there's any obvious signs that may point to that.
Not his wife, maybe somebody else's.
Yeah. You know, we got to do a song. He's a grifter, and sometime he's gonna rip you off anyway.
The only thing that would have made that interview better with that guy if he had a Leaf Spring Army flag behind him. That would have been the pinnacle right there.
Oh my God! No, that's some funny fucking shit right there.
Mm.
Oh man.
Hey, when are we going to get those guys on as a guest? They'll love us here.
Oh yeah. Remember the time we tried? We went over to the endorsers channel and we said, hey, this was way back in the beginning. We have a Ukraine show that we do. Why don't you guys come on over and be guests? They blocked us and banned us from the live chat.
Really?
Yeah, that was their response. So that's why we occasionally poke a little bit of fun at that limp-dicked little fucking tiny Todger living motherfucker, the enforcer.
Yeah, I did detect a note of animosity. It was subtle, but I did notice. Yes.
Yeah, it's as small as this little prick, but yeah, it's there.
Long. I thought you guys all loved me. I'm the greatest. And then I did love mate. I love the Shills. I don't know why we blocked you. I don't know. We shouldn't have done that. Because we love everybody, especially the Shills and this Zicky Dawson. None of that little green guy. There you go.
Oh God! Don't forget to wash your mouth out after you do that. Okay.
Oh, I think I just burped up a gallstone. I'm gonna sell it to that guy's wife and tell her it's a diamond.
Oh, somebody's got to clip that and send it to Andrew Mercado just to make sure he sleeps well tonight.
I know they've already sent you the clip of when you were talking shit about him earlier, so that's it.
Oh God, that was funny. That was awesome. I'm gonna have to roll a joint. That was so enjoyable. Nick, what?
Yes, sir.
There's a lot going on. You as an American who fights the regime trying to take over his country, that is, let's make that very clear. There's a
Yeah.
lot going on right now that's very suspect as it pertains to American politics. But the idea that the current administration could take away your right to due process as a whole, that's got to be one of the scariest moves they've done, isn't it?
Oh, it's the scariest in my view. I mean, it's they haven't. Have they done it? Well, that's a huge. It's interesting. It depends on how you look at and define various laws. But the
Let's
answer
be
is
honest, Nick.
unequivocally yes, yes.
Let's
They
be
have done it.
honest, Nick.
Yeah.
They're trying it their best already, and they have no bones about the fact that now that they've even said it to the public, that means it's coming, right?
Well, and Trump has said publicly that, and he was caught on a hot mic right beforehand talking to the president of El Salvador, saying you're going to need 5 more prisons. That's how many people we're going to be sending to you, and it's going to be American citizens. And they said afterwards, I don't see why. I mean, it's like if the people that we're sending are bad, we've got just as bad people that are already here, so why not send them? It's like, well, wait, I thought we were sending the people who are trying to get in illegally because this was an immigration issue. Now it's and that's fine, except I think that was the plan all along, which is to get rid of anybody he doesn't like.
Here's the thing.
Scary.
Here's the thing, Nick. Prisons in America, for the most part, seem to be companies. They are not government. They are corporations. So why would he not want to bolster the prisons as a business in his own country? Why is he shelving it out to somebody else?
Because if they're still,
you want to rebuild the manufacturing in the United States, so that's the way to do it. Just send them to an American prison where they're going to.
First of all, a lot of the prisons, I mean, it depends on, he has control over the federal prisons, but not the ones in the states. A lot of the states have banned for-profit prisons, and for-profit prisons are still complicated. So,
okay, here, before you go,
just get rid of them. Yeah.
Before you go, there's a common myth to Canadians that for the most part, your prisons are a for-profit thing.
Very few actual for-profit prisons.
Okay.
Our prisons do suck. They suck ass, and they suck ass because we have basically 2 reasons. One of them is in the U.S. we have a very vindictive streak. And the idea is if you commit a crime, if you hurt us, if you do anything like this, we have to come down like a full rain of fire. And so there's this tough on crime mentality that says, well, the longer a sentence, the better. And what has happened now is we have more American citizens behind bars as a percentage of the country than any other country in the world. China has 3 times our population, and we have more people in prison than they do. And they're a dictatorial regime.
Yes. Yeah. It's not just the population. You have to take into account the regime and control. And America has more prisoners.
So it's expensive. Maintaining prisons, it's very expensive maintaining prisons, and Trump also knows that anybody, once they're out of the country, getting them back is really difficult, and what he really wants to do is send anyone who has ever pissed him off out of the country forever. So that is the end goal. It's got nothing to, if he could make money with, for-profit prisons in the U.S., he probably still wouldn't do it, because if they're in the U.S., they have the ability somehow to talk to a lawyer, to make things tough on him. Garcia, the only reason Garcia has, I can't understand that.
Go. Garcia.
The only reason Garcia has gotten anywhere is because people who are in this, if there hadn't been a 15-second clip that included him having his head shaved where his wife recognized him, nobody would have any idea what's going on with Garcia. So that's the whole point of these things. He can also, and the fact that he can deport this many for $7 million a year or something like that, it's going to save the government a lot of money, and it's going to make it so that he can deport his enemies in such a way that they do not have any due process or means of, and it's much harder to strip people of due process if they're still in this country, because there are people they know in this country that can fight for them and can notify the public. Garcia had nobody. It was just luck that somebody found out where he was and what was going on with him. So yeah, but no, most prisons are not for profit. The prison system is going to bankrupt the U.S. if we don't deal with it. But we believe wrongly that the more you increase prison time, the more it acts as a deterrent. It only does that to a very small degree. The human brain cannot differentiate between getting 6 years in prison and getting 60. It can't. It is essentially a life sentence, because by the time you get out in 6 years, how much changes in 6 years? A lot. You will have lost so your brain doesn't take 60 as 10 times more the deterrent. We think it does, so we send people away for far too long, and people who don't need to go away, we send them away for mental health issues and yada yada yada. He wants to end all that, send them all to El Salvador, but mostly he wants to get rid of, and he said this too, he wants to put the Clintons in jail, he wants to put Comey in jail, he wants to put half his former cabinet in jail. He wants to put anybody who's ever said anything naughty or mean to him in jail, and he wants to do it over there so they cannot fight and come back. And it's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, it's everything that a free society should not be, even for those who have broken the law. This is so fucked up. So fucked up.
So here's the thing about that too is, okay, so in California, the for-profit prisons were abolished, like, I don't know, 5 years ago or whatnot. But they still are contracted with the major contractors like CoreCivic. There's a $200 million contract with CoreCivic, and they take care of all their reentry services. So you're talking like educational, vocational issues with the prisoners, food, medicine, and all that. So they just shifted their contracts from running the prison, right, to whatever the prison facilities need. It's still the same beast. So all they do is find a loophole around the issue. And I don't know if you've been into any of the little towns that are around these prisons in California. They are straight out of the 1940s, 1950s. Everybody is it's so quiet. It's eerie. It's like old vintage buildings. And you're talking like $2 million houses in California, right? But it's just, we honor our veterans flags everywhere. And then it's just MAGA Trump signs all over the place. And nobody talks. Nobody talks. They just all kind of walk by each other and do their little things, whatever they're doing. It's really eerie. It reminds me of kind of 1942 vibes outside of a concentration camp. But each little town you can go there and feel how creepy it. Go to like Ione outside of Sacramento or up north to what's that other one? Susanville up there. And so also those prisons, they get federal funding as well, or state funding as well, that goes to the community. So they get extra grants and extra money for those prisons. Without those prisons, those little like towns, they would just disappear off the face of the map. They wouldn't be there anymore, just from the funding, from the amount of work, the workers that come there, the economy. If those prisons were gone, bye to those little communities too. So there's a lot to it if you really get into it.
All right, folks, I need to get going, but good to chat. Thank you very much for inviting me on, and good to see you all. Chungus, Dunk, Dick, thank you so much. And once again, as I have said before, we all hate to do it, so I try to do it for other people when I'm on their channel. Like, subscribe, share. It really does help. It really does help. That's why they ask. That's why when I'm a guest on someone else's channel, I try to remind people for them. It helps if you like the content. If you don't like the content, and I believe me, I sympathize and empathize. I get it. I totally get it.
It's really nice you saying it while you're here on our channel. What we really need you to do is do this outside of our channel.
Exactly. Yeah. If you don't like the channel. So what you can do is customer service at youtube.com, and you can file a DM. You can make up the complaint. Just make it up. It doesn't matter what the complaint is. YouTube will just take the channel down.
Just go direct to ICE.
Dear Immigration Services, I know a Canadian. He's on YouTube, and I'm an American, and I see it in my house. So he is in my house illegally, and it'll work. Trust me. ICE will buy it. ICE will show up at Dick's house, be like, "Are you streaming tonight?" "Yeah, from Canada." "Oh, you're 53rd state. You're out of here."
Yeah.
Send him to Greenland.
No, I'm going to be treated like a foreigner in my own nation.
All right. Thank you guys very much. And thank you to the audience. It was very nice to meet you. So
Go
thank
and
you
get
guys.
showered now and cleanse yourself.
Take it
Bye,
easy,
Nick.
buddy.
Bye.
See you soon.
He's a
All
real
right.
good
I'm
dude.
so glad he's gone.
Yeah, he's fun. Yeah. But now that he's gone, we can talk shit about him. So, that's
Yeah,
always the
talking
fun part.
you were talking about people I hate.
I was going to say Nick, but he was here, right? That was the whole reason I brought it up. I just wasn't sure how long he was going to be around for. I'm just kidding. Somebody in the chat's going to think I'm being serious.
Oh my God, I've ignored your chat this whole time.
Yeah, I try to do that too.
Shit. Hi, guys.
It's all right. They've ignored you most of the night.
Apparently so. I'm going to go get another beer then.
Yeah. It's probably a good idea. What time is it? Okay. Oh, I'm still okay. All right.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, it's time wise, not personality wise, or social media wise, or
Is Felix at home?
he
coming home?
Yeah, he is indeed. He's upstairs right now watching a movie, and I did the big pizza order for lunch, so I just have to heat up the second pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all good and sorted. Yeah.
Second pizza. Make you sound like a hobbit. Second breakfast.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, if you want to have leftovers with this guy, he's 18, he's 6'1", but he's slim, 40 or 32-inch waist. He can eat an entire large pizza, and I'm talking like a deep dish pan pizza, puffy and all. He just eats the whole thing, and he's like, well, where's my snack after?
The only way you can have leftovers is you take that extra large pizza, you cut it in half, then you take all those segments and reconstruct them into a single round pizza.
Yeah. I literally have to fight him for the last piece. I want one.
My kitchen has been converted into a drone operating school. I just walked in there. My two kids are on there with their VR headsets looking like they're flying FPVs.
Awesome.
I'm like, what the fuck did I do to my kids?
Yeah. They're probably fucking up the neighbors right now.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
They're going to be the next generation of drone operators.
Yeah, you're going to see this like camera view from their headset as a rocket is flying up into the neighbor's cat's asshole.
Yeah. You know what we need? We need to fundraise for the Chungus family to have good ammunition to attach to those drones, because we want to see people take it, right?
Fundraise? I had a daughter 13 years ago. I still have ammo from then. From the first time the world ended. You kidding me? That's like, everybody always says like vital supplies, and they have to remind me ammunition. I'm like, oh yeah, that stuff.
Dude, when my son was born, and we didn't do the whole, what sex is the baby thing first. We just let it be a surprise. Felix pops and, oh, it's a boy. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. I truly did.
Girls are so hard. Oh my God.
I was scared of being in jail. I know why you're here, to see my daughter, you little fuck. Like
I was such a fucking maniac. I was raging on just like the most dumbest shit ever. Like someone cut me off on traffic, or I remember when she was born, I hung a baby picture up. Well, I was a butcher back then. I hung a baby picture up in the butcher shop, and someone had just moved it a few feet up, and I fucking just turned into the Incredible Hulk on him. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. He's like, wow, you puff up really good.
I'm glad you emphasized that story that said you actually worked in a butcher's shop. When you said you were a butcher,
Yeah.
Sounded like you're a mad axe wielding maniac.
Yeah. Ring. Yeah.
I mean, I've got some stories, but it's usually out in the woods.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
how many holes have you dug, Dunk?
Yeah. The worst story starts with he showed up in a Camaro.
What's wrong with wearing Japanese traditional dresses? Oh no, that's a kimono, isn't it?
Oh man.
That's a completely different vibe altogether. Just turning up in a kimono.
Oh, they both look good, but one is actually built well.
Yeah,
guess which one it is.
Definitely not the Firebird. I own one of those. That thing leaked like a sieve everywhere I went.
Dude, my first car was a 78 Trans Am with the 6.6 liter shaker hood and the bird on the hood and all that, like the full Smokey and the Bandit car, right?
I know that one. Yeah, my stepdad, he had one of those. Those are badass. His ex actually ended up pouring a 2-liter Pepsi into the gas tank because he found out he was dating my mom.
Whoa.
Fucking ruined it.
Oh, lovely.
The thing was that big 400 cubic inch engine in 1978 was only good for about 180 horsepower or something, right? It was the coolest looking car on the planet, but it wasn't actually that fast. And so I bought it. I was just like, I'm king of the world. Fuck everybody. And then I put my foot into it and like a Toyota beats me, right? And so my dad and the neighbor were total hot rod guys, and we dropped in a 4-bolt main Chevy 350 with a Borg & Warner 4-speed and a Ford 9-inch rear end with 373 gears, and yeah, that fucking bitch was fast then, man.
So my first vehicle was a 1993 Cadillac Seville STS.
Cool.
And I paid for it in $20 bills at this big, like, freaking car lot, right? And this private owner. And I go up, I'm counting out like $6,700 cash in front of this guy in 20s. Is like, where did you get all these 20s? I just looked at him in the eyes. I'm like, 20, 40, 60, 81.
I'm a butcher.
Yeah. I went choppity chop and got paid.
Yeah, I end up wrecking that damn thing. Stupid ass kid, man.
Yeah, I did that to the Trans Am too. Yeah,
I guess that's tradition, right?
Yeah,
Your first vehicle, you
No.
freaking uproot a Douglas fir tree and wake up and go, "What the fuck happened?"
yeah. I was backwards in somebody's front yard going, but I'm the best driver ever. How could this have fucking happened? You know?
Yeah, I busted up my first muscle car, my Austin Allegro.
Do.
When I say muscle, more like a walk.
Let's talk about family vehicles. What family vehicle did you grow up in?
Well, we had a few. They were usually old Chrysler cars. I was born in 1970, so my experiences are like we used to drive down the Oregon coast to go to Disneyland or whatever and see the sea lion caves and stuff. And the big back dashboard where the back window is behind the back seats was so big in those cars that I could just curl up and go to sleep up there, and they would totally let me. Now they're going 60, 70 mile an hour down these back mountain roads going towards Oregon and stuff. And if anything would have happened, they would have hit the brakes. I would have gone flying forward, decapitated both my parents, and took their heads through the front windshield, right? But yeah, it's fine, you know.
Damn it, Richard, you smashed my cigarettes.
Yeah, you know, yeah. But they were like big, huge, old boat cars. And the trunk was big enough to rent out to an immigrant family. The front end was so big, it's not funny. But the actual seating area was not much bigger than a Honda Civic.
Yep, that makes sense. Mine was a 67 Thunderbird. That sucker was the cherry red Thunderbird with the black velvet top, and it had the suede interior, the nice sweaty ass suede.
Yeah.
And that thing, a 454 big block, I believe, in that sucker.
Oh, 12 miles to the gallon, but yeah,
Then it went to a 78 Heritage with the blue velvet top and the white body. Big Thunderbird. Big. I know what you're talking about with like comfy, cozy room.
Yeah,
I'd have to stand up in that thing just to look out the window.
Yeah. It was 1987, and my buddy had a 78 Thunderbird, and it had the red fucking velour interior and the white exterior, and it was this massive behemoth of a car, and we just sit there rolling joints, driving around town in it back when we were young. Oh, it was just, and I think it was running so bad, he was lucky to get about 6 miles to the gallon at the time.
You know what? I would totally own one of those if I had a driveway that could fit one.
Oh, they're so cool the way they look with those cool back little square rectangle-ish whatever windows, in that vinyl roof thing they got at the back. Those were badass. But they weigh about 6,000 pounds without the engine installed, right?
Yeah, they're heavy. They're heavy and they get hot without. Oh my God, I remember sweaty as fuck in those seats. The suede in there. Oh, the worst.
There's an odd point in American automotive history when you did have like all these huge yank tanks, and then all of a sudden, everyone's driving cars that are basically the same size and chassis as you get in the European.
Yeah, it was the oil crisis, right? Yeah. It was when OPEC went all savage on America, and they were like, wait a minute, that Toyota doesn't look actually like a bad car anymore, right? And America came out with the Pinto, and they were just like 4-cylinderized versions of 8-cylinder engines, and they ran like crap, and they had crappy gas mileage, and
they blew up.
Yeah,
the Pintos, they blew up.
Yeah.
Like they exploded on contact in a crash. They would actually ignite and combust, and boof.
Yeah, there was bolts. There was bolts in the bumper that would pierce the fuel tank in a rear end collision and cause catastrophe. But then you got to look at like AMC with the Pacer. They literally put a goldfish bowl on sale, right? And with the Pacer, the two doors on either side, one was shorter than the other. Yeah, the passenger door, if it's a left-hand drive, the passenger door was longer to make it easier to get people in the back seat. I'm not shitting you. It's true.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Terrible, horrible. Oh my God. America went through some dark times during what they call the malaise era, the fuel emissions and everything era, right?
You mentioned Toyotas having good gas mileage. I would beg to differ. I've owned, so maybe the Corolla. Okay, Corolla, fine. The Prius, cool. But if you get into like a Toyota Tacoma, 4-wheel drive, 5-speed manual, or a Tundra, they just suck it up.
Dunk's got a Land Cruiser, a traditional older school one, right? The kind that everybody craves,
the big one, the Amazon.
Yeah. He's got a real one. Yeah. What do you get for mileage on that? About 18 when you're driving around?
I try not to look. If I'm, I actually get about 25.
That's not bad. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not heavy. I'm not heavy on the foot.
Oh, so, my Chevy 4-wheel drive, my Silverado, 11.5 miles of the gallon.
Wow. Yeah. My last car that I gave a shit about was the Porsche 944 Turbo. I had a 1987. And when I wasn't on song, when I was just, under the turbo, I could get 23 miles per gallon, no problem. But as soon as you spooled that bitch up, you were in 15s, right? For sure. It was awesome. And it was well worth it. Let me tell you, it was great.
I mean, absolutely with all these cars, if you're heavy with the foot and heavy on the brakes and all that kind of stuff, you burn through petrol, real quick.
Yeah, I gotta side with Dunk though for having a right choice. I love Toyota, regardless of the gas mileage. They are the best vehicles.
I know automotive in a big way. It's one of my things. Engineering, automotive, I'm into that big time. And anytime one of my neighbors go, "Oh, well, Dick knows cars really good. What should I get?" I just say, get a Toyota. Or if you're going to get a used vehicle, maybe the Lexus. But either way, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I like the Lexus, just a little bit of luxury, just a teeny little bit more.
So that's my one complaint about Toyotas. Like standard Toyotas, they are so basic when it comes to the interior. And I never thought that would bother me, right? But the older I get, the more luxury I want inside of my vehicle. Toyotas are so basic inside. They're just like, oh man.
I don't know. But the seats in mine, they're all leather. They're pretty damn comfy. They're not quite the like the soft leather you get in a sports car. Just like you just sink into, and it all wraps around you and cuddles you and gives you a blowjob while you're having it. But they're pretty comfy. It's pretty comfy.
Leather seats will go a long way. The Toyotas I had were probably the base models, if I remember correctly. So there wasn't a lot of luxury. And I would imagine the top line would still not even be close to an American-made vehicle. They're full of bells and whistles and stuff that can break.
Yeah. Plastic buttons.
That's my one complaint about Chevys as well. I've had 2 Chevy trucks, three Chevy trucks. And the interiors inside of those are so cheaply manufactured. I touch anything and I break it. I sit in my seat too hard. I break my seat. The center console, I lift it up too fast. It snaps. I press a button on the roof. Something breaks. My window falls into my door. I'm constantly squeaking on it. It's terrible.
Well, that was some of the complaints about the Humvee. The domestic version that was sold to families and stuff like that. You expect a Humvee, big military vehicle, to be built like a fucking tank, but no, the domestic ones, the handles were broken, the kids were breaking the handles on the doors and shit like that. So
everything you touch,
they were junk, man. They were literally low quality GMC vehicles done up with plastic trim that looked like chrome. That was it.
I lost a friend in one. He was
wow.
He was a really good gamer kid. He was going to be a cop. He was a really nice dude. He was my one of my coworkers' sons, and he was going up to Humboldt County to drop off some friends at church. And on the way back, he fell asleep behind the wheel. That Humvee went off the side of the road, and it literally cut the whole vehicle in half. Like he hit a little branch, went off the side, the whole vehicle just cut in half.
Wow,
gone instantly. And those things, they're heavy. They don't maneuver well. They when they hit.
Well, this is. Chungus, you just nailed the head. And this is the thing I've been telling people for years. This whole false theory of SUVs being safer is not true. If you come around the corner and grandma's crossing the street, or there's deer crossing the street, if you're in a rural environment or whatever, a huge SUV is harder to stop. It's harder to steer and maneuver. You're not getting out of that situation as safe as you think. And when you watch the crash ratings for modern cars, so many of these supposed SUVs are just jacked up cars. And that makes them more lumbery and cumbersome, but no better in the crash tests at all. It's a false sense of security, and it costs you more money in maintenance and running costs and gas.
Yeah, well, there is that thing where people buy the super extreme Range Rovers, and they're lovely, luxurious cars and all that, and they're damn fast, and they treat them like a sports car. Yeah, because they are fast. They can do it. So they treat them like a sports car. No, it's not a sports car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just a big car that's got a lot of power.
Yeah. Well, we've got a lot of people in North America who think I have 4-wheel drive. That means I can drive fast in winter. That's just not how it works, man. It's just not how it works, you know. Four-wheel drive doesn't help you stop. It doesn't help you turn. It doesn't help you do anything unless your foot's on the throttle, gaining the advantage of four-wheel drive. It's stupid, you know. Stupid.
Sorry, I got lost in your chat for a second.
Oh, it happens. It's a good chat usually, you know.
Yeah, we got Weedy in here throwing up a wonderful piece of toilet paper. Weedy, откуда ты приехал, сука?
What?
Oh yeah.
Speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
Well, he threw up a Russian flag, so I asked him where he was from.
Yeah, no, Weedy likes to provoke and stuff, but he's usually part of the crew around here.
Yeah, okay.
Slow it down, Weedy. Relax. Okay. All right. You know?
I heard pinworms and then I saw a Russian flag. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Weedy's just screwing around. The mods are already telling me here. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Weedy. Sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah.
You triggered me with that piece of toilet paper.
No, Weedy's one of those folks that gets drunk like we do around here and then starts, you know, pushing buttons a bit just to see.
Why don't we have him on the stream then? God.
Yeah.
I want to hear about these pinworms. Did you get them from RFK's pool?
Oh my God. I can't. Seriously, if I was a Republican after seeing that, I would be screaming bloody murder. He literally just infected his grandchildren to show that he's a renegade.
I don't even know what to think about that. Like, I'm still not over the fact that guy can just take his grandchildren out to a cesspool, throw them in the water, and no law authorities do anything about that.
I know.
That is so decrepit. So decrepit.
Yeah, if that's not child abuse, why do we have the term? Right? Unbelievable.
Welcome to Pub Chat. People are going to trigger me. Thank you, Mexi Girl.
Yeah, that's probably not wrong.
So how long do you think RFK is going to stay in place? Like, I feel he's going to be out of here really soon.
Well, yeah, with the swimming lessons he just gave to his grandchildren, I figure he's got weeks to live at the moment.
Can you imagine fucking doing that? I won't even let my kids play in the lake near me because it has blue-green algae.
Dude.
Like, let alone in raw sewage with like hepatitis, E. coli, lead, mercury. Just the nastiest.
If one of those children dies, I want to see him strung up by his neck on a pole.
Or even that, catches a freaking disease they can't get rid of for the rest of their lives because they're in that fucking nasty ass water.
And they don't know any different. Grandpa says it's fine, you know, like, oh my God.
Yeah, but it is interesting, so because it's the sort of thing we always do as kids. You know, we just go down to the creek or river. We don't go to creeks in this country.
I never went swimming in my own septic system.
But we didn't know. You know, a lot of us did all that kind of stuff. We came out all right.
I knew. Okay, I knew. My parents said, "Don't drink out of the creek. It has giardia."
Yeah.
I shouldn't play in that because I can get something. I think I'll just run past it and not touch it. Like common sense. If it's not clean water, don't get into it.
You know the cooties you think your sister has, you'll get them from that. You know.
Yuck.
I don't know. I think, Chungus, you might be like a slightly different generation of us. I don't know how old you are, but you're not old farts like us, and you're just like, there's some water. I would just go jump in it and swim around it.
Okay, fair enough. I grew up in the redwoods, so I mean, it was a little different. There was rivers and stuff like that, but we knew about mountain lions and poison oak and ticks and how bad they can be. So I feel like, common sense was instilled in us in a young age, even though we would fucking run in between traffic and our bikes. But,
Yeah, I mean, you're like running around the hill, the Highlands of Scotland, and you're going, oh, look at this lovely spring water coming down and of course your parents go, well, there's probably a dead sheep at the top of the mountain, so I wouldn't think.
Is that why you're always taught to leave your sporin behind when you go and swim in sheep piss water?
Ew.
I'm still trying to deconstruct that logically. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the shade of green would explain a lot now. So okay.
yeah. A lot of nitrogen in that
Hey,
water.
it's just the lighting in here. I'm actually blue.
Dabba dee dabba die.
Wait, I just got asked. Let Trump's cabinet. Do I think Alcatraz will reopen? Oh my God! Do you want to get me on that? It's already open.
Can you imagine when Trump said that? Everybody in the background was running the numbers and going, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that. It's stupid."
He'll change. No. Of course, it's stupid. It will happen, and he'll change the name. It'll be called Alcatraz.
Trumpetraz.
Yeah. He'll put a big skyscraper in the center
on the water around the outside.
Trumpetraz.
They'll do a reclaimed land putting green around the fucking outside.
Alcatraz, prison and casino.
The sharks will have lasers. They'll be the biggest sharks ever, the best sharks.
Oh no, it's either going to be sharks or electric boats. You can't quite decide.
You know what they'll do is they're going to start a new TV show. Christy Noem's going to host it, and it'll be The Running Man, starting from Alcatraz.
No, you got it wrong. It's called The Running Amigo. Okay, Running Amigo. They're going to start who can dig up the most clams in Maine. Then they're going to river raft down the Colorado River, right? Then we're going to do a desert run to see who can run the fastest. Then we're going to do who can hide the most cocaine and get away with it. There's a whole...
When that whole thing came out, Chungus, I couldn't believe it. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And it turns out they've been doing this for a while, trying to sell this idea to other channels. This is not... Have
you ever met some of the producers for these? I met one of the producers for what was it? The damn Alaskan fishing crabbing shit. What is that? Deadliest Catch. Okay. The Deadliest Catch. I met one of those producers, the guy that died, Captain Phil. He came to one of my old businesses and was going there, and that's when I was a butcher. He came there and he was doing autographs for his coffee and all that. He was taking a nap out back. And his coked out producer just came in there, just loaded out of his brain. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Wow. And he comes back to our meat shop. He's talking to us. He's like, that'd be cool to do a show back here about butchers. Wouldn't that be neat? A reality TV show about butchers? And I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Wow.
So this is what we got to deal. This is who makes our shows that we watch on television. You haven't slept in 2 weeks.
Yeah. You're looking at the guy going, have you ever thought of crystal meth? Because cocaine doesn't seem to be your friend.
This guy was gone. It was running around 10 different topics at once. I'm like, fuck, man.
It's just an ideas, man. Just keep firing out.
Yeah, he thinks that Hollywood vision of itself from the 70s is real, right? So he's like, I run a show. Where's the cocaine?
Seriously. And like, when I hear of this whole, that was the first thing I thought of when I heard about this whole competition for citizenship reality TV show was, oh, that's the guy that's running it. I've met him. It's got to be the same beast.
Wow. Yeah. And the way they...
It was the guy from Duck Dynasty who was the producer. I don't know what else he's done since Duck Dynasty. That's like 20 years old, isn't it?
Yeah. How do you exploit rednecks? Well, you switch to immigrants, right? It's just.
Well, he probably did the show about moonshining and all that kind of all kind of shit.
Yeah, it was a show about polishing somebody's ass, if you weren't sure, but
fucking idiots. I just love how they got umbrella under the reality TV.
Yeah,
it's about as real as fucking Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, what did they say? We want to celebrate and show everybody that they want what we already have.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is,
it's celebration of immigration.
yeah, they sell it like most extreme elimination, where the winner gets to be an American. Like, fuck.
And over here we have the Great British Bake Off, where people make cakes.
I like
Next
cake.
season, they're putting gun towers in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, did you use too much sugar?
Yeah, we're mixing a cake baking show with Escape from Colditz. We're mixing the two genres together.
Who can hide the metal file best in the cake?
Seriously though, there needs to be a parody video made about this and the Running Man. I want to see like Juan and Jose running from Pyro. Like, who will make it out? Who will escape the wrath of Pyro and Electro?
You got this guy running. He's like, "Hey man, I was just here to see my daughter." Like, fuck.
Yeah,
how not to be seen. Pedro here has learned to hide behind a bush. There seem to be 3 bushes. Kaboom! Kaboom! Kaboom!
Yeah.
Pedro was in bush number 3.
Would you like to avoid bush number 3? Then apply for our contestant course on how to be an American.
So who's gonna be the show represent? Who's gonna be the broadcaster? Who's gonna be the host of the show? Who's gonna be the host of the show on that? Is it gonna be
Ryan Reynolds?
Ventura? Right? Because he was already on the Running Man, right?
I would say it would have to be a co-host situation, and it would be
Kid Rock. Kid motherfucking Rock.
Kid Rock and Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, yeah.
No, Hulk Hogan. Hogan and Kid Rock.
Yeah, but that's 2 volcanoes that erupted in their own households, right?
Look at Juan making over that fence, brother. The fact that we even have to have a chat about this shit just fucking makes
so
me
bad.
So
I know.
It's so real though. This is really happening.
Sliders. I'm telling you, sliders.
Like Nick was saying when he saw Tim Pool got added to the freaking press conference, lineup at the White House. I'm just
they couldn't get Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
No, I woke up to that shit. I'm just like, yeah, that makes total sense.
Of course. Yeah. It's
why
not an
not?
echo chamber at all. This is all about balanced reporting, right?
I feel like everybody in the chat right here, including Weedy, sir, could make a better administration than our current one, and we are more informed. We might actually be able to run the country.
Dude, Weedy for president. I'm calling it right now. Weedy for president, right?
2028. Weedy 2028.
Yeah,
Everybody
Weedy 2028. Here we go. All right.
You're all fucked.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, Weedy's going to come in as a liberal and just say, "Hey, man, relax. We all good." It'll be like a Jimi Hendrix concert without the LSD. Well, actually, there's probably LSD. So
you might as well have Cheech and Chong go for president. and they're probably American citizens.
Yeah. Well, Cheech, what's his name? Cheech Moran or whatever. He did that movie Born in East LA where he got deported for being a Mexican looking dude and had to sneak across the border to get home. But he's an American. This was a movie from the 80s, man, right? And at the time, it was a stupid comedy. Now it's not a comedy.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happens when you have a president in office who came from a reality TV show. Now the United States is now a reality TV show.
Yeah. Well, Trump with this whole birthright citizenship. You only have to have one parent. Why? Because Trump only has one grandparent that was actually an American.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why.
Have you seen any of the court cases where these immigrant children have to go up in front of a judge and they don't even have the ability to have representation because they're not assigned representation? They're literally like 7-8-year-old children who have never known of a different country, up there by themselves representing themselves in front of a judge, and they're just absolutely confused of what's going on. The judge is trying to explain it to them. That to me is the epitome of fucking evil. And it is the biggest, most shameful thing we can actually absolutely have in this country. It's so
is that a show on American TV? Because
it will be.
Yeah, probably. Will he get the next affidavit right?
Mm.
Yeah.
We'll just put it. Well, it'll be in Las Vegas, so whether or not he gets, we'll start doing bingo and a lottery on who gets deported or not. Right?
Yeah, it's really bad though, man. It's really bad. I mean, when you can treat children like adults who made some conscious decision and the child was just dragged along, and then all of a sudden you're treating children like adults in a court situation, but you won't let them drive, you won't let them drink, you won't let them vote. How can you what
you'd be driving them to drink?
Yeah. But if they're not responsible enough as adults to make those decisions, how can they be responsible enough to represent themselves in any sort of court situation as an immigrant being talked to as an adult? It's the most ridiculous crap I've ever heard, you know?
Yeah, it's also like I just saw in the chat, the amount of stress you're putting that child under.
Yeah.
Like they don't know what's going on. You're going to put them up in front of a judge. How scary is that? And you got a bailiff in there and they're up there by themselves. And the judge is saying,
tell me,
don't want you here.
Tell me. Well, dude, tell me that's not as stressful as child trafficking.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's just state endorsed.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You know, it's horrible. It's horrible. You know, I hope a lot of people that are questionable Americans are considering running up here to Canada, because we won't treat you that way, guys. That's all right.
Have you seen some of the MAGA meme videos of MAGA who fled from being persecuted from January 6th to Canada?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're so funny. Well, are you guys going to go back now that Trump's pardoned everybody?
Yeah.
Well, we kind of like it up here because there's free health care, and
yeah,
Jenny over there, she's got that blown out pussy after the baby, so we
yeah.
And then me with my gallstones and ulcer.
Exactly. They show up here and all of a sudden they get treated like Canadians, and they're like, wait a minute, that ain't so bad, you know.
Yeah, the other one's like, well, we're just gonna wait till we become the 51st state.
Yeah, because that's happening anytime soon.
Oh my God. Yeah, the meme videos on that are so good. I was hysterically dying from it in my room.
Remember, Dunk, that video we covered a while back? That family from Canada who were pissed off because we were too liberal and they moved to Russia. Remember that one?
Yeah, but that worked out well for them.
Oh yeah. They were forced in front of camera to do propaganda videos about how cool it was.
Do they have their own YouTube channel?
They did.
They did, but
they fled to Siberia, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure they fled to the end of some velocity lead at this point, to be honest. You know?
God, man, how stupid.
I know. But it was really true. They really did it. They were like, this left-leaning country, we're going there. Oh, really? Okay. Good luck to you.
Have you seen those wonderful, double glazing windows on the 14th floor?
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't understand people sometimes. It's just so weird.
I know. I know. We've got such a lack of education in the world right now that people see this crap on social media and go, you know what? The grass is greener on the other side. They have no clue at all. No clue.
There was a funny thing. I think PJ was posting it in the private chat. They had like a demonstration thing over here in the UK of the Reform UK party with big pro-Trump.
Yeah.
Everyone's pro-Trump. Oh, we need Trump over here in the UK. We want Trump there. I said, have you been fucking watching the news?
I know.
It's not like North Korea where you're only getting, the Kim Jong Un story. You actually seeing it from the outside, and you go, "What? You really fucking want this?"
Yeah, I mean, Chungus.
That's scary. That is scary when people are that fucking dumb.
Chungus is in America. It blows my mind how many people have seen what the Trump administration is doing, and yet you've still got low-income folk that are fucking hardliner Trumpers, even though he's already fucking their life over.
Like I said, the propaganda works. Like, I know people that have lost so much money in their 401k. They've lost just about everything.
Yep.
Oh, well, it's for the better. It's a short-term pain, long-term gain.
Trust the plan. Trust the plan. Right?
And then if that doesn't work, then they try to get religious and talk about God and Trump. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're making my brain melt. You don't realize what's going on. Like
you see little interviews with these people. I can't remember who it is that goes out there, but they go out there interviewing these MAGA people, and they can't think of one thing that Trump's done that's good.
Nothing.
But, but it's all great. And or if they do mention something, then the guys can just come back and say, "Well, you know about this," which totally countermands. What great thing they said. And it's just like, it just beggars believe that people just are not fucking aware, but they'll go out and champion him, put him on a pedestal, and he's the greatest thing for this country. Why? Can you tell me why?
He capped medication costs, which is like, oh, okay, so socialism's okay now. Oh, now Bernie Sanders is based because he did that. I didn't say that. Well, you did. You did because he did, and now you're saying it's okay.
Well, the thing is, that was Biden's plan, and Trump blocked it. And
another thing that gets me is, I just don't think we should be meddling in other countries' business. Our troops need to come home. I'm like, okay, so you want a smaller defense budget, is what you're saying. Oh, I'm not saying that. Well, you kind of are, because you're saying, well, the troops home, we should be meddling in other countries. Hey, did you know that 9/11 already happened and that match has been struck? Could you imagine having a Syria that is a domestically terrorist ran country? Is that okay? And they develop a nuclear bomb and they sneak it over. That's what you want? We just bring everybody home and forget about it? Bygones be bygones.
That's the whole thing that Trump's missing. The previous administrations have been working so hard to kill that shit on a ground level. And now he's running around going, no, you know what? We'll just lift sanctions. And it's so fucked up.
He gets a free jet.
like the kid's toy the ambassador got back in the Cold War, the thing that was behind his desk.
I mean, meanwhile, he's telling little young girls that they shouldn't expect 30 dolls for Christmas. Just maybe one or two. But I get a fucking 747 jet.
Exactly.
But here, dolls anymore, anyways. Like every kid I know has an iPad or
grown-ups buy dolls from Japan. They buy the latest Star Wars dolls or the latest, Marvel
he was probably thinking of AI-driven sex dolls because, Melania doesn't live at home.
I mean, that would explain a lot about the diapers.
We had a comment here from Adam Rounds in the chat. Hey, Dick, by August, them Trumpers will be feeling it. Let's discuss that. This whole administration is putting serious pressure on the low-income people in America. And the Trumpers are arguing that it's still a good thing at the moment. But How long does it have to actually happen before they go, fuck this, this sucks?
No, they'd eat their own foot before they admit that they were wrong.
I'm not sure on that. Money talks and bullshit walks. That's an old school expression, and it really holds true.
Yeah,
When redneck Fred in Alabama is starting to have to decide between buying steaks for the barbecue and paying the insurance on his stupid big huge pickup truck, he's going to get pissed off.
Yeah, but it's Biden's fault.
Yeah, but it will be for a while. But
No, it will always be Biden's fault.
No. I think you're just you're not seeing it from the person's point of view. You can only sell it as Biden's fault for so long before, you know, all your neighbors are like, "Hey, Trump's shit is fucking me up." You know, fuel is expensive. You know,
I agree with you, but we're talking about them. Those people, and I just don't. I think they're just going to take the.
No, I don't believe that. I think a lot of real Trump supporters, once it hurts them specifically, are going to say, "Hey, you promised me this, but you delivered this." I do believe that day of reckoning is coming.
I wish fulfillment.
No, I don't believe that at all, because the modern day and age, everybody is about themselves. Me, I. Look at social media. You post one thing and people think they've got you sussed out and so on, right? It's all this me, I. I don't believe that the Trump regime can hold its momentum at all once it truly hits the American pocketbook of the average citizen. And we're not there yet. We're close, but we're not there yet.
I'll tell you why. Sorry, Chungus, I'll just say this.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you why I think you're going to be mistaken on that, and people are still going to support Trump willy-nilly, because we shouldn't have been in this place in the first place. He shouldn't have been voted in.
No, I don't buy that, because he lied his way in saying he would lower the price of groceries, but they've gone up. He said he would make everybody rich again, but he only means the billionaires. The people that have been lied to are starting to feel it. Just wait.
Yeah, he doesn't. The only thing he has, there's a separation of them. He's millionaire, billionaire. They have other people don't exist to them. We're just like animated, and we're just animated people in a video game that don't matter. So when it comes to how he is fooling the American people, he's doing little micro grifts. So he's keeping the ripping off coming from different areas. Like it started with the stupid meme coin, right? And then it went from there. Now we're talking Medicaid cuts. Now we're talking stock market crash. They moved all their money into bonds and then moved it back out when they bought all the stocks.
Yeah, exactly.
The next grift will be something else, and then something else. And the money will keep moving. He'll just take a little chunk from here, until he grabs everything he can. And then the impact will be kind of spread out. And it's going to fool a lot of people that voted for him, because they're going to feel little impacts, not a lot from one area. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I believe it, but I do believe the cumulative effect will end up with the average citizen feeling fooled. It's not going to happen overnight. Like that, the person in the chat said, August. I think it's going to take even longer, more to like midterms, right? You know, you've got
we need more of Bernie and AOC doing their stuff, and just like waking people up a little bit. You know,
we're set up for travesty, or for a tragedy right now. Kristi Noem already spent all of the money from DHS. She's going to run out of funds in July. Yeah, so that leaves us very vulnerable to Chinese and Russian cyber hacks and attacks. So who knows what's going to happen after July?
Makeup.
She spent it on her new freaking reality TV show where she's going to have immigrants do crazy shit.
She had to get a bigger gravel pit to shoot the puppies.
Yeah. And like we showed earlier, let me see if I can get the picture up here. Oh God, it's all wrong. I'll never find it in time. But there's this funny thing with Christy Nome. If you look at her pictures from like her staged appearances at places with the guns and all that and whatnot, she's an attractive girl. But then you see the raw pictures of her, like from the Senate floor or Congress or whatever the hell it is, and she looks like overboiled cabbage. So you can tell there's a lot of dressing going on there. And I don't mean ranch, right?
No, she was described in my chat as having Stepford wife syndrome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like she needs to get home and make sure those mashed potatoes are just right, or she's got to buy extra cover up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, she's going to do whatever Trump says.
Yeah. If you're that husband that's been cheating and you come home and find a boiled horse in the pot on your stove, it's probably looks like her,
Her husband probably came home to find her blowing Satan in the bedroom or something.
She'd take it like a champ. Come on.
I'm dead. Oh God. What have I gotten myself into?
Yeah, sometimes you just said something and you're like, maybe I'm close to done for the night.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I don't hide anything from my chat, man. I raged the other day on stream. I was fucking bawling my eyes out, screaming, pissed off at the world. I just feel it's better to get it out,
Yeah. Wear your heart in your sleeve and tell it like it is. Put the you in YouTube and be honest, right?
Yeah, life's too short to lie to yourself or to anybody else, right? What you see is what you get,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I like that.
fuck you all.
No, I had to stream like that too when I was fundraising. My chat was getting me drunk for donations.
Awesome.
By the last shot I took, I looked at them all, I was all, fucking hate you all.
Really? So you were able to get drunk and use that as a way to get donations? I'm doing this every time.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all I'm doing now.
it was a gaming stream. I was playing DayZ, and I bought the nastiest bottle of alcohol I could find, which is like Christian Brothers brandy. And I went to a European market and I got the spiciest Polish pickles I could find. And I was taking a double shot glass, and for $5, I would eat a pickle. For $10, I would take a shot. For $15, I would snap the pickle in two, put it in the shot glass, and cover it in brandy. But my chat wasn't like, oh yeah, take a shot. No, they're like, no, you're gonna take 4. So I'm sitting there just, I'll eat these like the nastiest Polish pickles you could ever think of. Literally, playing DayZ video game, lost in the woods. I dropped my goddamn rifle. I'm like, I lost my gun, guys. I don't even remember what happened. I had to go back and look at my stream. We raised like, I don't know, $600. And then my moderator got on there, Blonde Bombshell, and she's like, I haven't even donated yet. I'm like, don't you fucking dare.
So Digger's going to get a jar of pickles for $1,000. He'll shove those pickles up his ass.
Yeah. It's going to take a lot more than that. But, with all this pickle focused for fundraising, don't you think that we should rename Chungus to Gherkin?
We're like little spicy ass gherkins too. Mexigurk, I like it. Chungurkin.
It's funny. I've got to turn on the oven so I can warm up my son's pizza supper. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right, you're gone. I'll warm up Dunk a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just got like a stick. You can just like poke the oven with.
I was just going to use the force.
Use a fork.
Have a little root leaf.
Oh shit! I've lost my glass spoon.
What did I just come back to?
I don't know. I used the force, and all of a sudden, I think he threw his back out and he dropped something and sat on a stick.
Oh,
what happened?
Another bottle.
Has something to do with alcohol. I think we're safe.
I don't know if that's safe.
Well, yeah, yeah.
The safe word is not alcohol.
Yeah. The safe word is balloon ball. Does anybody know where I got that reference from? Let's see if anybody in the chat can do that one. I'm calling on my Canadian brethren here. Balloon ball. Do you remember? We'll see. We'll see.
Well, not everybody went to the same fucking weird parties you went to.
I don't know. I've always had a classic safe word, banana. You know.
Yeah. Just want to stay on the good side of the peel, do you?
That doesn't sound like a safe word. That sounds like a choice.
Oh no, it's either that or pineapple. Which one do you want?
Depends on where it's going. Yeah.
Definitely the banana. Yeah, definitely banana.
Oh, that's funny.
People are wondering about the loin comments. I see the loin comments in chat. Everybody's
yeah, you were touching your loin so much last night.
I flipped my loin all night last night. It was covered in Korean barbecue. That
was awesome.
It looked so delicious. You ate it yourself.
I did. I had to just taste the tip of it a little bit. It was delicious.
I've been trying that for years.
Just like a Sublime song, he got off on the mushroom tip.
I should point out, though, I've not been trying for years to taste the tip of Chungus's tip.
God.
That'll be a long stretch.
Yeah. You're that guy that hangs out in my bushes?
Scoutmaster Dan?
Not since the court order.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not Trump. I listen to the judge.
You know what would be great, Dunk, is if your avatar had an ankle bracelet. That would be amazing.
That can be arranged.
Oh, that's funny. When you did the enforcer earlier, fuck, that was funny.
Oh my God, that should just stay up for an entire stream.
It has. We've done that a few times.
That's rough. I thought I was bad, man. Some of my meme videos, my early ones about them. Woo, boy. Now I even look back, I'm like, God, I was an asshole.
Yeah. Well, we've always taken this stance where we don't involve ourselves in social media drama, but we always pick on them because it's just
No, the reason why we do that is because we did it in the past and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
On my old channel, I was taking the piss out of this guy.
Yeah. And I did it as well with some fucking piece of trash as well, right? So we're like, okay, we'll never doing social media but we'll pick on the enforcer. It's one of those de facto things, right?
Oh, there's people out there that absolutely love
We'll never do it again. We'll never do it. We'll never take the piss out of people.
He's not the enforcer. He's a very naughty boy.
What shirt was he wearing? Was that a Russian shirt?
That was a bad idea. Yeah, that was it. That was enforcer, Nazi polo shirt.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Dunk did this whole thing where he took the enforcer's Christmas address and redid it as his own with the background and everything. Because Dunk actually has an Emmy Award as a visual effects artist. So he was able to cut him out and redo the background with the live fireplace. Oh, yeah, it was so fucking awesome, man.
I'm a little jealous. I'm not going to lie. I thought my meme videos were the shit.
Oh, yeah. Dude. Seriously, those cool morphing picture intros we do on the channel around here? That's because he's really good at the shit. It's just...
Hello, welcome to Enforcer Mansion.
That's it.
So Ken Patterson
down in the basement.
Kim Patterson just asked if I used to be called Sweaty Chungus on YouTube. Yeah, I was there. I was in the Enforcer chat. I was like day 20 member.
Wow.
It was a really hard time in my life. I was going through divorce and drinking a lot. All right.
Yeah. Day 21, you were blocked.
Yeah. No, they blocked me before I could even respond to anything because I was following Andrew Mercado on his X account. They blocked everybody that was following him, like immediately. I'm like, what a bunch of fucking pussies. So
that got out of hand really fast, didn't it, man?
Oh, you know what? Hey, what goes? It is what it is. They want to act like that, then and it makes sense. They live in a mansion, right?
Well, not anymore. They got kicked out.
Oh, did they? Yeah, I haven't kept up with them.
Yeah.
I could care
Mommy
less.
and daddy divorced. Mommy gets the house and said, "Fucking get out, you sorry ass sacks of shit."
Oh,
So
nice.
they're in a different mansion.
Yeah. Well, no, they're in a little apartment because.
Yeah.
I don't.
If they're in an apartment with the size of that YouTube channel and the money they make, they're putting it all in the bank. That's right, But they are homosexual brothers who really get along together. So,
Wow.
I mean, if you're gonna LARP and do crazy shit, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm a firm believer that the universe has a plan for everybody who is taking $1 from Ukraine unconsciously in a way that is not direct and upfront with their followers. I feel like the world has a way of coming around. I've especially seen it with Ukraine. Like if there was ever a higher power, it's there, man, and it's policing people.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah.
It's totally obvious with that crew over on that channel that they are not doing it for anything else but themselves.
Well, when you say a drone got lost by DHL, but you can't prove it, you don't have any tracking information.
How could you not? How could you not?
Yeah. Come on now. Come on.
I know.
How can I with 900 and something subs get an EcoFlow to Pokrovsk, but you can't figure out how to get a drone to the 231st?
We on this channel on the Shills, we have fundraised for so many Ukraine causes, and every single one of them has shown up on our channel and gone, "Thank you, everybody! What an amazing boost that was!" and stuff. I mean, we don't even have to prove who we are because everybody does it for us.
Well, there you go.
It's just I can't imagine going on a live stream and lying to my viewers about the post office losing the drone, where I'm making how much in super chats. You would just buy another one and send it on the spot, wouldn't you?
I feel like that would be a top priority in this world, is to get the 231st drone and to keep trying if it failed over and over again, because lives depend on that. Lives are depending on that. If they're anticipating it getting there, and they expect you to do it, you better fucking do it.
Yep, exactly. Well said, man. Well said. So we're coming up on 2 hours here. We could go longer, but we'll probably just get the channel in more trouble. We have a habit of doing that. I am just getting my son's supper ready. I do still have some drinks in the reserve pile. Probably going to need them tonight. I'm very happy that my little guy is happy. Little guy, he's 6'1", but he's happy doing his own thing. And I don't have to feel bad because I've streamed twice today. Dunk, what do you think? What do you want to leave the viewers with as heartfelt wrap-ups as you sit in your parents' mansion?
No, it's not my parents. It's just mummy's basement. I mean, mummy's basement. So that's where she likes me, in her basement. As less I say about what I do in her basement is probably best left unsaid.
Can someone find her actual name so I can actually see if she's on Tinder? Because I'm feeling like I need a sugar mama.
I have her OnlyFans link.
Yeah. And it's got 2 fucking weird sons in it. blowing
if
each
they
other.
want to throw in a donation, they can sit around and watch,
Hey,
and on to the next one.
I gave the 2 kids $50 and had myself a fur burger. I say it was worth a try,
And with that,
I thought Dunk was gonna no.
Oh, I got nothing else to add to that. Load of bollocks. I was just making shit as I went along. I don't know.
Chuggus, what do you think?
I think this is a lot of fun today. I hope I didn't get you guys taken down on stream today. I had a lot of fun with this one today, and like I said before,
Fuckity, fuck. All right, keep going.
is that what it takes? Because I need to stop swearing on stream. I try my hardest.
Dude, it took me 3 years to figure that out, and I still well, actually, I haven't. So, yeah, never mind. Keep going.
The other day, or my last stream, I'm like getting all pissed off because I'm playing Trump, right? And I'm starting to go. I'm like, flip. So, Lord Jesus, give me the strength. I got to clip this video later. Like I need to like mentally think about like controlling my brain, and it's hard.
Yeah. Finding that switch so that you could say frig and stuff, and yeah.
Maybe I'll just start saying like, what the Blevins, what the Enforcer, what the Wetumpka.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah, that's where I came up with Lord Thunder and Jesus, because I'm just trying to find a way to swear my head off without doing it, right?
Man, it's blasphemy. You'll get stoned.
Come on, let's go to stoning.
Yeah.
So
I already said.
let's thank the team. We got Annette, Shayna Caldwell, PJ CNET, Chris Lundy, Mexi Girl, Carpazian, the AI Alchemist, Liam Wakefield, and Super Chat Matt. Huge thanks, everybody. Because, well, without the team, we wouldn't really know. Well, it's not like we know what's going on, anybody, but we wouldn't have a clue without the team. See, with the team, a clue. Without the team, not so much of a clue. You see how that works?
So in our sub what do you call them, subscriber drive tonight? How many more subs did we get tonight?
We lost 2.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. And one of them was Nick.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm never coming back on this fucking
Andrew Mercado and the Enforcer.
Don't tell me you actually lost 2. Please, for the love of God.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay,
But
thank God.
Yeah. But knowing the way YouTube works, we'll probably lose a sub by morning, because that's just how it works. If you're not worthy of being monetized, if you curse and swear too much and talk about that little balloon knot between your butt cheeks, you get in a bit of trouble. Well,
Weird.
Yeah. Well, go figure. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching, everybody. Huge thanks to everybody today who contributed. We raised some good money for Britain, Ukraine. And remember, if you look like this, your mother did a terrible job. That's horrible.
Yeah. And thanks for washing up for supper.
Say goodnight, Irene.
Good night, Irene.